Hello everyone, this is Gayle, and today I think I'm going to try doing a multi-layer pendant. I've done pendants that have texture and some that have color, and I think I'm going to combine several techniques into one pendant. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some color with my Born Pretty mica powders. I'm going to use the chrome and I'm going to use the glitter. And I'm just going to color this black sheet of clay with various, colors. Sounds like I said color a lot then, didn't I? And let's see, let me put some of the chrome on here first. I'll do some teal. I put these little brushes in here, but I may just use my finger. But this is the mirror, and you can see they're interference colors. So I pretty much have to do it on black clay. Let me put some on here and just see what happens. Using the brush instead of my finger. Yeah, I'll put a little bit of teal there. I'll put a little over here. And I'm not going to be, particular about where I put my colors. So there's the teal, and I think I'll put a little bit of, let's see, how about some red? May not use as much of this one. The red is one of the few colors that you can see the color of the mica before you put it on. I think I'm just going to do little strips of red. Just like that. The hardest part is getting these little lids back on straight. That looks straight. And let's do some purple. I like purple. I'll put some purple in there. You see the powder itself looks white, but when you put it on the black clay, you can see the purple. Now, I have not done this technique in many, many years. I'm hoping it will turn out the way I'm hoping it will. The way I think it will. So there's our mirror colors. And if you're interested in these boxes, these are the little craft boxes that you can buy at the Dollar Tree. I love them. And they're the perfect size for these. Alright, so now let's add a little bit of glitter. So let's do some of the pink. Well, now let's stick with the same colors. Let's go back to the purple. Now this one has glitter in it. Because we want to add a little pizzazz in here, and I'm just going to kind of put this close to where the other purple was, because I don't want purple on top of the red or whatever, so I'm going to kind of put it over top of this just to add some sparkle. And some teal. I've removed these seals, but I leave them on there so when I open the jar it doesn't fly everywhere. But this is going to be the teal. And you can see I'm not being real careful with it. I'm just trying to add some color. And I'm going to be adding other things to it. And I don't really have a red glitter, so that's going to have to kind of stay by itself. But I do have a purple. No, I've already done purple. It's really a darker blue. Alright, so that's all of that I'm going to do. And I'm going to take a piece of patty paper. Oh, I wonder what this went in. The teal. Had a leftover applicator. I'm going to put some patty paper on it, and I'm just going to burnish it on with my finger, and it's mainly just to get the powder stuck to the clay good. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a screen print over it. So I chose this one. I'm not sure if this, I think it's a Sculpey screen print. And I'd love to have the bird, but I don't think the whole bird would fit in what I'm going to do, so I'm going to, maybe I'll just put his head there. And again, I'm going to burnish this down, especially with the mica powder on there. You don't want paint to get underneath. And I'm going to use, oh, I didn't get it out. Just a minute, let me go get my paint. Okay, I'm going to use the Sculpey metallic gold paint that came with the Sculpey silkscreen kit. I've never used the gold, I've used the silver. And of course I can't get it open. But I was thinking with, this is February, I was thinking with Valentine's Day coming, that it might be nice to do some kind of a heart. So I'm going to take the paint, and not knowing where it's going to go, I'm going to put a little bead across there. And I just use, this is an old Amazon gift card. I use that to kind of squeegee the paint through the silk screen. And you can see it doesn't take much. It does look like I need a little bit more right around in here. Let's go around the edges a little bit. And most of that will come back off. wipe this off before it dries on my card. And I'm going to pull this up and see what we've got. There. I love that. Love it. And of course I didn't bring a bowl of water in here, so I need to go run and rinse the silk screen off before this paint dries. Okay, I believe this paint has dried. But I wanted you just to see close up how pretty the gold silk screen looks over top of the mica powders. So now, I think what I was going to do, and I just changed my mind as I was doing this, I was going to stamp in black ink the Lisa Pavelka Love Letter stamp and just have it look like letters going across it, but I really like the way that this gold looks on the color, so I don't think I'm going to disturb that. So I think at this point what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut my shapes. Now I can cut different things. Let me get a big one. See if I have room. I don't know if I'll have enough room on the color. But I'm going to start placing my hearts, and I'm going to come in a little bit because I'm going to use your camera, my camera, as my viewing stage. So let me find a place that's pleasing to me between the design. I'm going to get that bird. Although I'd like to get that in a pen if I can do that. Let me see if I put that on there. I think I can do this. I'm going to go ahead and cut a large piece for a pen. A pen, you know, that you would put on top of something, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this up so it won't be in the way. And I'm going to take this one and get that branch. I believe there's a branch going up this way. I think I like that. And that's going to be my pendant. And then I've got a smaller heart, because with something this pretty, you've got to have earrings. So let me see if I can get colors in the earrings. That's a lot of the blue. That would make a pretty one. And I'm going to do another one where I can get more than one color. Maybe right there. And I may make some extra ones that kind of stuck in there to make into charms, just because this is such a pretty sheet. Well, the little ones are sticking inside. Probably should stick it in this in some cornstarch or something. Okay, so I've got 3 of these cut, 4 really. And there's room, I guess, for one more right in here. And I'll pick 2 for earrings, and the others I'll make into charms. But I'm not finished yet. Okay, this one didn't come out. There we go. Oh, that is just so pretty. I'm so glad I decided to do that. Put my cutters away before they end up getting in the way. I keep my cutters in these little let me come back out. These photo file things that you can get at Michael's. I usually get them when they're on sale, and because they're usually always 40% off. But every once in a while they'll have a sale. And I can put all my little shapes in there and then close it up, and then they're easy to put into a bag or something if I want to take them with me. So let me put those away. But now I want to add some bling. And if you know me, you know I like bling. So I got out my heat set rhinestones, and these are small ones. And I'm going to place some of these around. Try to find some colors that are in my design and put them in strategic places. That one was purple. I don't want them to just be stuck somewhere. I might put that down in the middle of that gold ball. And let's see. Here's a red one. I can put that inside this gold ball. My little tool that I use to place my rhinestones is with my paper goods down in the basement. I had to move them. But I wanted just to add some bling. Okay, I think I have placed enough bling on these. I put 5 on the medium heart, and I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the big heart. And then in the small hearts I chose just to put 1, and I used the light teal in all of them since I didn't know which ones that were going to be my earrings yet. But this is not enough. You know, we can't just leave them like this. We can, if the charms we could, but you want to do something with the back and the sides. So what I need to do now is to condition some more black clay, and we'll put a little bit of a rim around them. And then, so I'll be right back. Okay, I decided I was not going to put a rim around them. I was going to just put a backing on it that's a little bit prettier than what is showing. So I conditioned some black clay to the number 3 setting. And this is just a scrubby sponge. I'm going to use this to work on, and that will give the back some really nice texture. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my pieces back on here. I got my cutter thing back out. I'm going to cover it with the plastic wrap. And I'm going to cut again to give this a rounded edge and cut into the black on the bottom. So just line your cutter up where it was before and just press down. I've never cut on one of these scrubbies. I wasn't sure how it was going to work. There you go. But you can see the back. It's going to have a real nice texture on the back. And I'm just going to lay this aside for right now until I get the other pieces cut. Okay, they are now all cut out. And what we need to do now is just smooth the edge. It was just a little bit, it cut a little rough because of the roughness in the background. So just smooth it with your finger. And you can shape it if you want, make little changes. But let me show you this one up close since this is bigger. You can see the rough edges here. You just take your finger and rub over it and it smooths those rough edges out. Just look at it from the back, make sure that the edges are getting smoothed correctly. And just do this to all of them. Okay, I put these on a separate piece of paper because when rubbing them with the fingers was breaking off little bits of black clay and they were getting stuck back on my project and I didn't want that. So these are all smoothed. And if you wanted, you could take some of these little micro beads and fill in some of the leaves if you wanted to add some more sparkle, but I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to show you it was something that was possible if you like using those. But I think what I will do is use my gold powder. And this is by Eberhard Faber. I don't know that they even make it anymore, but if you have gold perfect pearls, that would work. Let me see what I have in my perfect pearls. I do have a perfect gold, so I will not use this. But what I am going to do is take another little thing. I got this out of the Tiny Pandora Beads and Blends kit. And what I think I'm going to do is rather than having this black edge, I'm going to take this, the perfect pearls. Let me test it on a piece of clay first before I do anything, just to make sure it's going to look the way I want it to look. And let me try it with my finger. I think it's going to work better with the finger. I was going to use this brush, but I think it's going to look better with the finger. I thought I had a sparkle gold. No, it's sunflower sparkle. That's what it is. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to stick with the gold. But I'm going to take my finger Dab it off there because you don't want too much, and just rub along the edge. To kind of dress up the edge a little bit. This is an optional step. You don't have to do this. If you like the black, by all means keep the black. I just thought I'd give it a try. And be sure you wipe your hands off because you don't want to get that on the front. Let me just show you the difference. This is with the gold on the edge, and this is just with the black. You can do it any way you prefer. But since I did the pendant with the gold, and I am going to have to use a tool to kind of smooth this little seam, I thought pressing it together would do that, but it didn't. It left a little seam. But I don't think I'm going to worry about that. So let me go ahead and coat all of my pieces with the gold, and then I'll be back. Okay, the tops were a little hard to get. And this is another thing you get with Teresa's, her Color Me kits. I said this came with the beads and blends. This did not. This came with her Color Me kit, the elephant that I did. But I'm going to use this down in these little crevices. And I'm going to see if I can use this teeny tiny point to get down in that little crack. That covers up that crack pretty good. I say crack, it's not a crack, it's where they come together. So I'm going to just use this on all my pieces. And if there seems to be a seam that shows, I'll use it for that. On these little pieces, they sealed up pretty good. Now there's one that shows a seam. Can you see the seam? And it shows up because the black shows up. So I'm just trying to get the gold down in that little crack. Actually, this little brush kind of smooths that seam out. And I couldn't get down in this point either. You know, these little points are going to be a little hard. Let me brush that away. It was getting on the front. And let me try it on these bigger seams and see what happens. Makes them not quite so noticeable. So I'll leave that up to you whether you want to try covering your seams or whether you want to take your finger and smooth them out before you put the gold on. I'm okay with that. I'm trying to wipe my fingers between each piece so I don't carry gold with me. I love these little brushes. I don't even know if it's considered a brush, because it doesn't seem to have little individual hairs. It's more like a little soft, although at the very end does. It's sort of a clay shaper slash brush. Okay, so we've got all that done. Now we need to decide what we're going to do with these. Of course, I already told you I was going to turn this one into a pin, this one into a pendant, and let me choose which two. Well, actually, I need to dust this paper off, or I'm going to get gold all over the backs, which may not be a bad thing. I like that one for an earring. I like that one. That one's got a leaf, so I think I like that one too. Goodness, these are hard to decide. I think these two will be my earrings and those will be charms. Now for my charms, let me put the perfect pearls away. I'll be so glad when I get into my new house and my new craft room. I'll have so much more space where I can just move things to the side. These are 4.5 millimeter jump rings. I don't have a lot of gold because most everything I do is in silver, but since I use the gold on here, I feel like I need to use the gold jump rings. And I'm going to take my craft knife and let's see, I don't think I'll do it on those. I think my 3 that I'm going to do for the charms, I'm going to just cut a little slice with my craft knife. And if I can pick them up, I'll put the jump ring in there and just press it down so that the bottom part of it is inside the heart, and then just press to make sure that it gets sealed in there. Then when it's baked, it will stay there. And I'll do the same thing with the other 2. That one went in a little bit too far, so I'll just pull it back out a little bit. And what you'll do after this is baked is you can add another jump ring to it to hang it from whatever you want to hang your charm from. A little bit of the gold has gotten on the back, but it looks kind of nice. So for the earrings, excuse me, I think I moved I don't believe I have any gold eye pins. So what I'm going to have to do is maybe I could use, oh, those are the earrings. I've got these bails that also came with my elephant kit. I was going to use one on the pendant. I'm going to use the shiny gold on the pendant. And I might do the same thing with the little hearts if I have 2 more shiny gold, which I do. Might have been easier to just dump these in my hand, wouldn't it? I love Teresa's kits. When she puts them together, she's got everything you need. But again, you're going to need to go in and cut a little bit larger slit this time. And I'm going to put it with the rough side to the front. It's kind of hard for me to work and get it to where you can see what I'm doing also. And press it down in there. And if you scrunch your heart like I did, you might need to reshape it. And do the same thing with the other one. And the part that goes down in your clay, for other jewelry it's meant to be glued on the back. But with clay, you can put it inside and then push the clay down around it, and it will bake inside of that. It's a little crooked. Let me straighten that out a little bit. It's another good thing about clay. Till you bake it, you can manipulate it how you want it. And I'll do the same thing with this. I originally had planned to put 2 in here, but I don't have another shiny gold. I just have the one, so I'm just going to put this in here. That is so pretty. And then this one, I will use a pin back. I do have those in gold. I have different sizes. But I think this one, I don't remember how big this is. Oh, and these are the stick-on. I really don't want the stick-on, so I'm going to pull the sticky part off. It's also got a piece of plastic on the back. I'm going to see if I can get that off. It would help if I maybe use my pliers. Sorry, if I'd realized this, I would have had this done before I started the video. But I didn't realize these were stick-on. I'll have to take all these off, the rest of them, because you don't want to bake it with plastic in it. It also sets it up too high off of your pin. bending this all to pieces. Let me open it up. I'm not going to make you watch me do this. Let me turn the camera off. So sorry about that. I had to get that plastic off. Didn't realize they were stick-ons. I've had them for so long, I just didn't realize. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn the heart over on its front. I'm going to place it where I want it. But I'm just going to take a piece of scrap clay and cut a rectangle. I've ended up with too much stuff on my desk. I'm such a messy crafter. Let's see. Let me cut a rectangle. That ought to be enough. And because I'm fiddled with this so much, I'm going to put just a little dab of liquid clay, or you can put Bacon Bond. Just going to put a little dab on there just to make sure that this is going to stick. And I'll lay that across the back. You can see what I'm doing. And I press it with my fingers first to make sure it's adhered. And then I can take, if you want to smooth the seam out, you can take a tool to smooth it out if you want. I don't really care, but I will show you how to smooth it out. Just rub something over it like this, which smooths out that seam a little bit. And don't worry about the little grooves that it made, because we're going to come back with our sponge and we're going to go over it with the sponge so that it has the same texture as the rest of it. Then I will close this, just because you want to make sure it's going to close before you put it in the oven. And there you go. I'll bake this one face down. So I'm going to go ahead and bake these in the oven, and then when we come back, I am going to put some resin on these. So I'll be back as soon as they're baked. Okay, here they are, all finished. Excuse me, I forgot to get my pen out of from under the light. Everything is finished and coated with resin. This is the Deep Shine resin from Tiny Pandora. And look at that. Is it not gorgeous? I think this is my favorite. This is the pendant. These are the earrings. All I did was attach, remember I put the bails in the tops of the heart. I just put a jump ring around it and then put a earring hook on it. So those are the earrings. Gorgeous. Of course the pin, I showed you the pin, but I just wanted you to see it again. That is so pretty. And then these are the 3 charms that I ended up making with what was left. So when you have a pretty veneer like that, use as much as you can, because it's just too pretty to waste. So there you go. So I hope you like it. Come back again soon for another polymer clay video. Bye-bye.